So he's apparently even mismanaging his deck more than I'm mismanaging mine. So all you have to do to beat your opponent is be better than them, not be good yourself. Easy game. All right. So resources. I guess I could explain that right now. So there's like 5 different ways of playing. So if I go to play mode, I have 5 options here. Competitive constructed. Let's actually see this real quick. Yeah, so this has a buy-in. You can either pay 1,000 gold. You get, I don't know, like maybe 1,500 gold a day in dailies. I think maybe that's a little bit high. So your daily quest will give you gold. Gems are almost only a purchasing thing. You have to pay real life money for them. The decks and cost of these are up here. Where's the store? So if I wanted to purchase gems here, they're fairly expensive too, right? $5 or 750 gems. I think there was an intro. Someone asked if I paid any money on this. I've paid $5 towards it right now. I bought like there's like an intro like thing. I basically got tired of the fact I couldn't play constructed or couldn't play drafts, and I wanted to try drafting. So I paid $5 to buy like an intro package. The intro package was a good deal, but it's like a one-time only deal. I think it was like 2,000 gems or something like that. So the first mode is the constructed, where you're going to bring a deck. I think you bring a deck to competitive constructed. Competitive draft is a different system entirely. It's super fun. I'm going to show you this right now. I think we're going to do a draft this morning. I think I will probably lose all of my gems playing this draft, which is fine. But I want to show it off a little bit and also get a little bit more experience with it. So we'll do this for a little bit. Okay, so this is a quick draft. 5,000 gold or 750 gems to enter. And the win conditions, when you win or do well in it, you get small amounts of gems back, as well as some packs. And I think this is the previous expansion packs. The way I understand it from Magic is like up to a certain number of expansions are in play at any given time. I think it's 4 or 5. And I think this is the most current one is not this one, it's the one before that, if I understand correctly. Anyways, so we're going to try this. We'll buy in on gems. And this is a drafting process. So you're going to draft out of 3. I think you draft against AI, but the other players you play against had the same options of drafting as you did or some similar thing. I don't think that's totally true because I've definitely had cards played against me that I have not been offered, but my understanding is it's supposed to be something similar to that. So we'll draft 42. It looks like we're going to be drafting 42 cards. We'll be building a deck slightly smaller than the number of cards we draft, so we can remove some of the cards that we get. And we're going to be drafting out of 2 from this expansion and 1 from that expansion. You keep the cards you draft, and the deck that you draft out of it is the deck you play with. It's very similar to Arena in Hearthstone, except you're also gaining cards as you do it for your permanent collection. All right. The issue, so constructed versus drafting, the biggest difference that I've found, and again, I've only played a couple draft games now, like maybe 3, like 3 drafts. The constructed decks are, of course, going to be a lot higher quality, but they're also a lot more spell and a lot more spell heavy in the constructed decks, right? There's a lot of removal. There's a lot of planeswalkers. There's a lot of enchantments that are disable enchantments. In the arena, it's a lot more creature focused. So it slows the game down, and it seems to shift the focus over. So when I look at this, the things that stick out immediately to me are the enchantment removals, which are these 2. Neither of these are particularly strong. Well, this is an enchantment removal, and this is an instant removal. Removal's harder to get in arena. Neither of these are particularly strong, but just that class of card is both pretty good. This thing is interesting. This would be stronger in a constructed deck. It's a themed kind of thing. So like you can see when you summon a creature, this is a beast horror. This is a vampire knight. When you cast this, it basically takes one class of creature like pirates or vampires or knights and gives them a bonus as long as this is in play. And it's going to be in play pretty much permanently once you draw it. The problem is it's going to be harder to make a theme style deck like that out of a draft because it's just going to be less options for you all the time. So I see these as decent. I see that as maybe okay. I like this. This is equipment. This is it's kind of like a temporary enchantment. It's gear that sits on your board, and when you summon creatures, you can attach it to that creature, and it gives the creature temporary bonuses. And then when that creature dies, you get the gear back, which is kind of nice. It's like an enchantment that comes back. I found this to be decent. But the ones that really stick out to me are these 2 here. Both of these are super strong. So this guy, when he comes into play, he destroys an opponent's creature. That's removal is hard to get, and this is a removal that's also a creature, which is pretty damn cool. And then there's Forerunner of the Legion, who's really good too. And he is a vampire-oriented guy. When you play him, you get to choose another vampire out of your deck and put him on the top of your library. And then any other time you play a vampire, he gives a +1/+1 bonus temporarily till the end of turn, which is really good too. Problem is, I don't know if I can get a vampire themes. Vampires are really common in this expansion. The expansions seem to be kind of like, again, like Hearthstone expansions. There seems to be a theme of what type of creatures are heavily represented. This particular expansion seems to have a fair number of pirates and knights, and I think merfolk or something. So between the two of these, when I look at this, it's pretty close. I don't really like black in the arena. Although I've been very pleased with white. So a part of me, that's the other portion of this, right? Because this is the arena part and not the drafted part, it's a lot harder to get access to lands that have multiple colors on them, dual lands. And it becomes a bit more problematic, therefore, to have multiple colors in your deck. Certainly, I think 2 is probably where you're aiming for most of the time in a drafted deck, but the double mana cost on this is not going to be super easy. So I'm probably pulling in this guy. I think the removal is so good that I'm going to take it, but it does make a distinction for what I'm going to do here. Okay, let's take a look around. These cards, this is a vampire, this is a dinosaur. That's the other one. Dinosaurs are in this expansion too. This dinosaur's been pretty good too. It's fairly easy to get to the buff. You can see, also kind of cool, see how it has an attribute on there called Ascend, and then it has a bonus that says blah 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 as long as you have the city blessing. We'll actually tell you what that is in the top left. So if I mouse over one of the other ones that has, do we have one with like flash? It tells you what flash does. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to get that sense of it. So when I look at this, what do I see? I see a lot of garbage. That's decent. That's okay. Recover is actually not bad here. And it does have some synergy with the card we've already picked. It's also black. It feels like any creatures that have those on-cast effects, which aren't super common, this is particularly good for. Actually, Plummet is surprisingly good. Flying creatures seem to be one of the victory conditions that I've noticed in Arena. I think I'm going to grab Recover and hold off making the decision of the other color. And I said, I'm a novice at picking these. A lot of these cards I've either only seen once or twice before, or I'm seeing for the first time now. So I'm a little bit of a novice when it, not a little bit, I'm a lot of a novice when it comes to doing this. I hate that I don't know what I'm going to get for flying out of this too. This is a kind of cool card for this format. It's actually really strong because its flyers are not super common, and it is very easy to get the city's blessing. What does this guy do? 3/3 that I lose 2 life unless I control another pirate. Doesn't sound great. I don't really want another recover. Dust Charger is a 5/5 for 4, but it is only if playable late in the game. Evolving Wilds is a way I can make sure I get the mana types I need when I need it, but it's also a land type that enters tapped. Destroy target creature with flying, again, has been fairly useful in this format. And then there's a bunch of red stuff I don't want here. I don't know. I look at this and I'm not entirely sure what I would do with that. I like these are instants that can enter. I mean, I could go a black and white deck here. I don't have a lot of reason to suspect that white's going to be much better, except that I've already seen a couple decent white cards. And the packs kind of come back. I don't know how many passes I get at each deck. I could run another Recover. I feel like it's a little bit greedy right now to do that, but I like the fact that this card has Cycle on it, so I like that it's draw a card. That's the other thing that seems to really slow down in Arena, as the decks are just crafted primarily out of creatures. You can get a lot of shit in terms of just like drawing lands, not getting what you need. I like cards that have draw on them as well. I feel like this is probably going to be useful all the time. I'm talking myself into that, but the other ones that stick out to me is just a random 3/3 for 3 that does a little bit of damage to me. Doesn't sound great to me. And Plummet, and then Evolving Wilds. I don't mind Evolving Wilds, but it's not good. Go with Evolving Wilds to pick up for a 3-color deck. I don't know. I don't know that I'm going to get a 3-color deck here. That's tough. I really like Moment of Triumph too. I really like the board control manipulators like this. That's, for me right now, I'm like slightly ahead on this one, followed by that one, followed by Evolving Wilds, and nothing else here really registers as particularly useful. Could go blue-black right now and pick up a flyer too. This is a 3/4 flyer as long as it's late enough in the game, which is pretty decent. I don't know that blue-black is a particularly strong setup, though. I don't know. I haven't played blue in Arena yet. Green has seemed very strong to me. Black has seemed okay to me. White has seemed really strong to me in Arena so far for this expansion that I've only with my end of 3. Anyways, I don't know, chat. I don't know. This one's throwing me through a loop a little bit here. There's probably a drafting tool somewhere. I really like the idea of picking up the flyer. Let's grab the flyer. All right. So, next pick, we have another recover. A kind of shitty vampire. A couple of red cards, no removal there. Kind of weak dinosaur. A white flyer. This was a really solid flyer too. Has a lot of hit points, which means you could do a lot of defending against hostile flyers with that. Champ creature an opponent controls. When enchanted creature dies, exile cards equal to its power from the top of its owner library. You may cast all land cards from among them for as long as you remain exiled, and you may spend mana as though that type of mana casts these spells. That sounds okay. It's backseat drafting okay? Yeah, I think it's pretty early on, so I'm certainly pretty early on in my understanding of this game, so I'm certainly open to suggestions. So I'm torn here. If I want to stay on color, I've started black blue here, but there's enough options here. I'm not stuck into this. Yeah, well, hello there. Yep, something like that would be fine. Desmond's Chest was pretty strong last time, but it requires you be able to kill opponent's creatures, and that's not always something you have options to do because the opponent you can't attack creatures directly without. When you're using just attacking an opponent with creatures, you can't target one of their creatures. You target the player and he chooses blockers. It can be a little bit hard to land that, although I think it's pretty powerful when you do. Flood of Recollection has some synergy already with like basic stuff we picked and recover, but I don't think we're going to have a lot of instant or sorcery cards. Although I think this is an interesting card. And then the other flyer sticks out as interesting to me, even though we're not necessarily going white yet. Just these were really powerful in the last one I played, just because they're very hard to kill, and they stop a lot of the smaller flyers from being able to attack you, and they have vigilance, which means you can often attack with them while continuing to do that. I think I'm going to grab the Suncrested. He was super strong last time I played. All right, another flyer. Very expensive one. 5 for 3/3 is pretty low value. Another white flyer and another. Wow, 3 more flyers. Okay, sure. I don't know which of these I would go again. So I haven't committed yet to blue or white as the secondary color yet. That's a fairly good, fairly easy to trigger bonus, and at 4 costs instead of 5 is kind of nice. Really, I think I would probably pick Spire Winder over or Winder over the Suncrested guy. And this thing seems like it could be super cool. It seems like one of these things that you might be able to snowball with. I think the blue flyer is worse. It's funny. I see it as 1 mana cheaper and with 1 higher power, which seems actually really strong to me. I know it's not 1 power stronger all the time, but it's pretty easy to get the City Blessing bonus. And I've been actually really pleased with Squire's Devotion in this game. But again, these flyers seem super strong to me. I don't know. I'll grab the Suncrested. All right, what do we have here? River Darter. Meh. Another shitty pirate. The Relic, which is draw in the late game, is okay. I think we're pretty much not going green or red here. These sentries actually been pretty strong. Seems like we're aiming towards white. I kind of like it. Okay. All right, dual land for red blue. It doesn't help us. A lot of red cards in here. Each opponent loses 1 life for. Yeah, that's actually surprisingly not bad for this format. Can't be blocked. 1/1 can't be blocked. That's gonna get the damage I want. I think I'm gonna pull. Are we going blue or white here? I think we've set up for white. Doesn't mean we can't throw in some blue cards, but it's pretty easy to get 5 or 6 creatures in this format. Especially because you often get to the point where the attacker seems to get penalized pretty heavily by defend, because there's a defender's advantage in choosing how you defend, and also you can group block, but you can't group attack. Relic's draw. It's draw, but it's expensive, right? So it's draw that's gonna it's draw that only works later. If you have 5 or 6 creatures, you virtually won. I haven't found that to be the case. I have often seen it to be the case so far in the arena games that I've played, where you guys each have like 4 or 5 creatures sitting in impasse on either side of the map, where a little bit of damage makes a difference. Yeah, it is true. A lot of these cards are probably going to be cut out. I could just draft based on rarity too. It's always a thing, because this does add it to the deck. Yeah. Is the game just the new expansions? I'm not sure. It's 4 or 5 expansions deep, but I don't know which ones are the new expansions versus the non-new expansions. I think this is going to be surprisingly not terrible. I'm going to grab that. All right. Let's take a look. Another flyer. Destroy target vampire or enchantment. Seems like that would be pretty decent in this format. Gleaming Barrier doesn't seem very good. Traveler's Amulet. That will let me get land of the appropriate color if I want to run that. I don't want a second Gruesome Fate. I don't really like Sea Legs. It is a flash enchantment, which means you can use it whenever. I kind of like the 3rd flyer, although Cleansing Ray has some benefits too. I really like Destroy Target Enchantment, and Destroy Vampires are going to be useful. One of these 3 comes to mind here. I don't necessarily need a 3rd one of these, but they're pretty strong in this format, so maybe I will. All right, grab another bird. I like Strider Harness. Recover's gone all the way around. A lot of recovers. I like Destroy Target Creature. Oh, but I'm not playing green. I'm going to grab the Strider Harness. It's basically +1/+1 permanently. I'll take another Sentry. Feeling a little bit of lack of early game. I'm going to want to probably fix that in the next couple packs here. Take a second Recover. Starting to get pretty poor over here. I'll take Flood of Recollection, but we're not going to play that. I just think it's an interesting card. I mean, I might play Sea Legs, but I don't think we're playing blue at all anymore, right? I'll just grab Flood of Recollection. Yeah, we're not going to play either of these. These are both pretty bad, I think. Did we just get a rare as the last pick? We sure did. Okay, so pack 2. All right, 2 for a 2/2 with Flash and Death Touch. That's pretty damn nice. Wow, that guy has a lot of abilities. Don't have any other pirates to combo that with, but that's pretty solid. Flash means I can play it as an instant, which means I can play it after my opponents have declared attackers, which is really fucking nice. This is another creature similar as the Flyers. It's going to be very hard to remove. He's going to have hexproof and can't be blocked, but only later in the game. There's a nice removal card there right off the bat. The rest of these don't seem great to me. There's another flyer here. A flyer who's hexproof there, but very slow and very expensive. Vigilance means they attack without, when they attack, they don't tap, so you can also use them to defend. But on a 2/2, that's not super exciting to me. I'm definitely taking the Dire Fleet Poisoner. He's by far the best card here. All right, what else do we have here? Curious Obsession. Chance a creature gets +1/+1. Has whenever this creature deals combat damage to the player, you may draw a card. That sounds amazing here. Too bad we're not really running blue. Feels like you throw this on a flyer and then just be super happy about the fact you draw like non-stop cards. Flying along with attacking. +1 is his attacking. Not super excited about Gruesome Fate number 2. Yeah, I'm not super excited about these. Are we going to play 3 colors here? I have no way to get more mana in here, but it'd be super good if we could. How expensive? We have 1 that costs 2 of a mana type. He's a pirate? Yeah. I don't think that's exciting. Corsair's good as a 2-drop. Could be. If we run blue. It's another flying creature. I mean, my whole deck's going to be flying. Flyers are generally a little bit more expensive for their value. Alright. I'm okay with that. It's a pirate and he's a flyer. I can live with that. If we're going to go blue. Forerunner of the Coalition. I haven't seen this card before. When Forerunner of the Coalition...
Welcome back. Your steadfast loyalty is greatly appreciated.
Meanland, thanks for the sub. Welcome to the channel. When Forerunner of the Coalition enters the battlefield, you may search your deck for library for a pirate card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put it in a cop. Whenever another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. Well, that's okay. I mean, it lets me bring a super good guy to my hand, but it's going to show him that, which is the annoying part of that. 2/1 soldier, just white soldier is fine. The vampire soldier, Sailor of Means is kind of alright. Pirate, blocker, gives me extra mana generation, kind of one-time mana generation. Another flyer is available. The rest of these not so excited about. I guess it's a 2/2. You can always pull to. Do I have a 3rd pirate? Yeah. All right, fine. Sure. Let's grab Forerunner. Journey to Eternity. I don't know what this does. Enchant a creature you control. When an enchanted creature dies, return it to the battlefield under your control. Then return Journey of Eternity to the battlefield transformed under. And add 1 mana in color. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your battlefield. This feels like a game-winning card to me. That feels like a game-winning card to me. All right, I think I'm going to grab that. It's in the colors that I'm already using too. Let me just double check if there's anything that immediately stands out better. What? I'm definitely... Oh, it's green. Fuck, it's not in my color. Shit, I thought it was black, blue. For some reason, I thought it was in my colors, and it's not. Oh, man. There's no way. I was just like, oh, I'm reading this because I just lost a game to some card I've never even seen before. Like, when I played last, that is. And the card was ridiculous. We had a fairly even board state. I was slightly ahead in board state, doing small damage over time with, like, flyers. And he played some card, it was like an enchantment or something, that over 3 turns killed 3 of my creatures, then transformed and let him resummon those 3 creatures into the battlefield under his control for a net fucking game of 1 card giving him 6 creatures difference. And I lost that game by like 2 life. It was ridiculous. It like destroyed the game entirely. All right, so what is it? A 4th flyer? Seems to be a little bit excessive.
Welcome back. Your steadfast loyalty is greatly appreciated.
Another pirate, 3 for a 3/3. That might be a bad might not be a bad idea either. Hey, Killer Just Odd. Time flies. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I'm tempted to pick this card up because it's pretty cool. I just don't think I was thinking it was amazing, and I like a part of me is sitting here like deny it, like. But I'm pretty sure the other people who are drafting aren't going to play against me, and I'm pretty sure are AIs in this part of the draft, so I don't think there's actual denial. But I think this is super insanely strong right now. Anyways, let's grab the... I think grabbing the pirate is okay, or grabbing the other flyer, but I think the pirate. Let's get some basic just minions to have on the board. I don't know what this thing does. Equal to the number of differently named lands you control. It's going to be very weak. Pitless Plunderer. Doesn't seem that great. Red, white. Cleansing Ray, destroying vampires and enchantments can be good. What does this guy do? 3/2. 3/2 can unsummon a creature. It's not terrible. Yeah. I don't think this has enough attack power to be worth talking about. I think I'm looking at the Rig Hauler. Induced Amnesia. Don't think that's what I want. Another green-black. Man, I'm gonna lose at some point to a green-black deck with the 2 super strong cards in this format. Because you don't have exile options either. So this is not particularly strong in like a constructed deck because it's just too slow. 3 for a 3/3 is decent, but 5 mana to bring it back and then 3 to resummon it's not that great. But in this format, it's actually surprisingly good. This is a black-white land, dual land for us. That's something that would be solid. Shitty Murloc. I think I picked the land.
A new subscriber arrives. It fills you with determination.
Vexer Navy Issue. Thanks for the sub. Alright. Let's take the land. Aquatic Incursion. Don't know what this does. Enter the battlefield. Create 2/1/1 merfolks with Hex. Target merfolk can't be blocked. Doesn't seem that good. Conquistador. Lets me search for other vampires, right? Oh no, other of the same type. No, it's not going to be very helpful. This is a draw. You can just get a generic 5 attack power. I don't think 5 attack power is all that great here. Another Strider Harness. Strider Harness and a Gleaming Barrier. None of these are things I want. I could just take a generic 3 drop. It's only a 2/2 though for 3, which isn't good. This is not good either though. And then this one is maybe. Ugh. Ugh. Alright. Black-green dual land. Someone is going to pick those black-green cards and just going to be fucking destroying Arena with that option. Gruesome Fates, Dust Charger. I think I need some creature with a little bit more. I think I'm going to pick up the 4 for a 3/3 that becomes a 5/5. Yeah. It's not draw though. SJ Lawton. It's I think. Oh no, it is draw, but it's only if you have another Conquistador, and it's not really good. All right, I'm gonna take the Dust Charger here. Arterial Flow. Each opponent discards 2 cards. Blah. Blue Flyer. Very expensive flyer. Slightly less expensive flyer. I don't know. 5 seems really expensive for a 3/2. I don't care about the hexproof. So it's basically 5 for a 3/2 versus 4 for a 3/1. I think I'd 3/1. I don't think this is going to be that good. Its opponent chooses them. It's 2 black mana as opposed to 1 black and a bunch of colorless. I think we're going to take the Revenant. Gruesome Fate. This is all garbage. I'll pick the Gruesome Fate, but it's not going to make it in. Another Revenant. Sure. A Negate. Definitely not making it in. I don't want any of the rest of these cards. They're all bad. Pitless Plunderer, sure. Alright, so most of those aren't making it in. Okay, pack 3, final pack. Let's take a look. I'm not liking this deck so far, guys. Story target Merfolk, non-Nerfolk creature seems really good here. It's direct target removal. That's pretty nice too. Oh, but I'm not playing green. It's not even bad for us. This was surprisingly good. I don't know what the rest of those do. Okay, I think it's walk the plank. Alright, Deadeye Tracker. Exile 2 cards from an opponent's graveyard. He explores, but it takes a tapping for that. It's not super useful. I can do it at the end of a turn. Chart a Course. Draw 2 cards and discard a card unless you attack with a creature this turn. That's not bad. That's 2 for draw 2. That seems useful. The Freebooter's really good. flying and removes a card from them, and I don't have to give it back unless the creature dies, and they often don't have removal. This guy's flying as long as I have a dinosaur, and I have like 4 dinosaurs. That's not terrible either, but not great. The Deacon is really good, but I don't have vampires. It's going to be a black-green deck that kills me with those colored cards, the multicolored cards, and then the vampires. That's what's going to happen. All right, I don't see a lot in here for me. I'm going to take the Freebooter. Okay. Blue-black dual land is interesting. One 3 flyer. Cobbled Wings is not terrible, gives flying, but I have flying amazing. I might take the dual land here. If we're gonna run 3-color deck, just nothing else really sticks out here as a must-have. I think I'm just gonna snatch that. At some point I would like to draft other decks. Unknown Shores. It seems like that wouldn't be terrible. Let's look at the rest of these. Pairing Blade. 5 for a... That's kind of interesting. 3/3 flash and flying. Some combat tricks. I don't really think so much. I don't think indestructible is... By the way, we're missing like anything with power above like 3 right now. I don't think we have anything power above 3. Wouldn't mind a bigger creature. I don't want me to get one. What does this do? Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a charge counter if they're 4 charge. I'm never gonna. I have to activate that. All right. Castaways can't attack unless you control an artifact. I have no artifacts. It seems unlikely. I'm not super excited about this. We have too many 5s already. Well, how many of these 5s are gonna... By the way, where are my 5? Bunch there. Those are probably all making it in. Can we have too many 5s? I think I'm leaning towards Windstrider here, guys. Windstrider or possibly Unknown Shores, but I'm not convinced about this. Like, this is slow. We definitely need white to build a full deck here, because we need to have our flying creatures in here. I think I'm grabbing Windstrider though. Okay. Siren's Ruse. Exile target creature you control, then return that creature to the pirate, draw a card. That seems pretty decent. Three for a 1/2 flyer that sometimes becomes a 2/3 seems a little bit high. 4 for a 2/2 with Menace. Menace doesn't seem very good in this format because you can't remove creatures. They often have blockers, especially a slow Menace, like an early Menace maybe. I think I'm going to Sirens here. 1/1 flyer for 1. I'm fine for a 2 for a 2/1. I kind of need that 2-drop, I feel like. Fine with that. Dive Down I like a lot. But another Siren's Ruse. Definitely one of those two. Or Dive Down or Siren's Ruse, rather. +3 defense. Is that relevant? Probably. So how many things do we have with battle cry effects? Just our poisoner, basically, right? It's not just our poisoner, but it's not a whole lot more. Oh, I think it re-triggers these effects, right? I'm very tempted to pick up Siren's Ruse because I think it's gonna have interesting effects with like our Chupacabra here. It has really good synergy with like 2 cards. Well, like only 2 cards. We should probably go with this synergy on all cards as opposed to the synergy with 2 cards. Fine, dive down, fine. All right, what else? Shaper's Apprentice, 2 for a 2/1. 2 for a 2/1 with card cycle. 2 for a 2/3, but can't attack without artifacts. These are all pretty bad. How many merfolk do I have? Like none. Yeah, it's like none. I have 1 merfolk wizard. So it's between these two. Because this is basically just a generic 2/1. Can cycle a card if I attack. And can't attack unless I control an artifact, but has 3 health and can block. I think I prefer the looter. Alright. That's pretty shit. None of these are being played. I don't want any of these cards. I don't want any of these cards either. I might possibly play Pirate's Prize. I suspect not. Depth of Desire. Turn a creature to its owner's hand. Create a colorless sacrifice. Add 1 mana of any color. It seems really bad. That is really bad. Is it possible to play a Parrying Blade? And this is just stuff that we're not going to end up playing. I feel like this was a really bad draft. Maybe it's because I'm talking through these decisions too much, or maybe just we're too novice at this, but I feel like we drafted really poorly here. All right, so here's our deck. So let's pull out the stuff we know we're not using, which is everything red or green.